All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kradash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men, the women, and the children who follow. So, we got a lesson coming back at you today. Going over 2 Kings chapter 5. And something that happened back then that we can really use these stories in today in our daily lives. That's what the scripture says that, the can you get that for me? Aforetime were meant for our learning.
This is Romans chapter 15, verse 4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope."
Right. So the scriptures that were written before, that were written in the past, it was meant for us to learn from these situations, so that when we read them, we gain the wisdom from the situation, so it doesn't befall us. So, with that being said, we're gonna just skim right through this chapter. It's a good chapter, but to get the full idea, we're gonna go ahead and read the whole thing.
So this is in 2 Kings chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, "Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master and honorable, because by him the Lord Yahweh had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper."
Right, so he was unclean. Sometimes today you'll see Jake, and you can tell that they Jake, they got dark skin or whatnot, but they might have like the white blotches on them, or it's actually a family here in Omaha. Like all the women in the family, they have like a white bang, like it's like a little white streak right here. Like every single sister, the older sister, the middle sister, the younger sister, the cousin, the mom, all of them. Hey, there might be descendants of the guy that we can be speaking about. Who knows? But hey, at the end of the day, talking about Naaman, he was a leper. He was unclean.
It says, "And the Syrians had gone out by companies and had brought away captive out of the land of Israel a little maid, and she waited on Naaman's wife. And she said unto her mistress, Would the Most High my Lord were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he will recover him of his leprosy."
Right, like, hey, you need to go see a prophet. A prophet gonna take care of you, gonna clean you up.
And one went in and told his Lord, saying, Thus and thus said the maid that is of the land of Israel. And the king of Syria said, Go, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 pieces of gold and 10 changes of raiment. And he brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, Now when this letter is come unto thee, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman my servant to thee, that thou mayest recover him of his leprosy. And it came to pass, when the king of Israel had read the letter, that he rent his clothes and said, Am I the Most High to kill and to make alive?
Right. So he's like, bro, like, why would you write this letter and give me all this money, all these changes of raiments, and have me to cure this man of his leprosy? Like, that's way too big for one man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not magical. I'm not the Most High. Not to say that the Most High is magical, but you know what I mean. Lord's will, you understand what I mean, what I'm trying to convey. But he didn't have spiritual power.
Yeah. He's just saying, I'm just a man at the end of the day.
I might be the king, but he's the ruler.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I can't say, hey, be clean and you're clean.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have that kind of authority.
So it says, Am I the Most High to kill and to make alive, that this man doth send unto me to recover a man of his leprosy? Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeketh a quarrel against me.
Like, oh man, he's trying to set me up or something? Like, what's going on?
And it was so, when Elisha, the man of the Lord, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he said to the king, saying, Wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel.
So he's like, okay, well, that's what's going on. Bring them to me. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is working with me, and I'm going to just let them know that, hey, the Most High is working through Israel. Because remember, when you go into Elisha, you know, he was with Elijah when he was taken up into the whirlwind. So he got that double portion. So ever since then, Elisha, he's the dude right now. He's the prophet. He's the prophet in Israel. So he's like, okay, well, it's gonna be a mighty work shown, you know, today, you know, through me via Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and I'm gonna change, and I'm gonna cure him.
So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. But Naaman was wroth and went away and said, Behold, I thought he would surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his power, and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper.
Right, so he didn't do it the way he wanted him to do it.
Yeah.
He thought he was gonna come and, you know, like the pastors do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come with a cloak and
Yeah.
you know, throw some holy water on him or something.
Yeah.
But he didn't even come out. He just sent a message. Hey, bro, go dunk yourself in the Jordan River 7 times. You're gonna be good.
Yeah. It says, Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in rage.
Mm-hmm.
And his servants came near and spake unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee to do some great thing, wouldst thou not have done it? How much rather then when he said to thee, Wash and be clean?
Right. That's why I wanted to get that Matthew.
Oh, yeah. You want to grab it?
Kind of grab that. Because, you know, he initially he's not wanting to matter of fact, hold the Matthew.
The next verse?
Yeah.
This is verse 14. It says, Then went he down and dipped himself, Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of the Lord, and his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean.
So he did what he was supposed to do. He obeyed at the end of the day. He bucked up. Mm-hmm. He got in his feelings. But at the end of the day, he did what was told. Okay. And what happened? He was restored. Okay. The Most High blessed him. So we got to remember that in our daily lives, man. Because a lot of times we want to go off our own feelings. The scriptures say, lean not to your own understanding.
Because in his understanding, what made sense to him is that, shoot, we got huge rivers of Damascus. These are the waters that I look at and think highly of. Why would I go into this? To him, he going to a pond and just splashing around. But
right.
He doesn't know that he's doing a very spiritual thing. He's doing a very powerful thing. You know, that's that spiritual understanding. You know, but going to Matthew chapter 21 and verse 28, it says, But what think ye? A certain man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, Son, go work today in my vineyard. He answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went. And he came to the second and said likewise. And he answered and said, I go, sir, and went not. Whether of them twain did the will of his father? Then say unto him, the first.
Right. So you had one son that said, you know, he was told to go do the work in the field. He said, man, I ain't going to go do that work. Just like Gehazi or Naaman. Just like Naaman. You know, he said, man, you know, I ain't going to do that. Mm-hmm. But he went and did it. Yeah. And then you had the second son who said, okay, yeah, I'm about to go do it. But he didn't do it. Mm-hmm. So who was more righteous? The one who said that he wasn't going to do it, but he ended up doing it. Yeah. So just like, you know, Naaman, he was in his feelings. He wasn't going to do it, but he did it. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's, you know, even, you know, in this life, you know, you know, I get this a lot, you know, where I feel like I don't want to do something or I'm too tired or whatnot. Hey, sometimes you just got to do it. Sometimes you got to dig deep. Sometimes you got to sacrifice to get the job done. And go to according. What does it say? You know, right here, according to the saying of the man of the Most High. Right, you got to go according to the will of the Most High. And you may have, it may not go your way. You may have to sacrifice. You may be a little bit more tired at work. You may be a little bit more drained. You may not get everything done that you wanted to get done around the house. But hey, go according to the will of the Most High.
Yeah.
That's what the point is. I think that's it on
Matthew.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is back in 2 Kings chapter 5 and verse 15. It says, and he returned to the man, Salakia, and he returned to the man of the Lord, he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, behold, now I know that there is no power in all the earth but in Israel. Now,
right. So now he know where the true power is. He said, there's not a power in all the earth except Israel. Because all the other nations have their own guys, the Canaanite guys, the Edomite guys, the Egyptian guys.
Mm-hmm. And he came out of us, Syria.
Khan,
what's that? Ishmael?
Aram.
Khan, yeah. So them Aramites, they had their gods and whatnot, But he after seeing this, he knew what it was.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's what the goal was. That's what Elisha came to do as a prophet, as a man of the Lord, just as we're doing today. We're coming to show people what the truth is. We're coming to show people who the true power is. Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai.
Exactly. Beautiful point, brother.
So it says, behold, now I know that there is no power in all the earth but in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. But he said, as the Lord Yahweh liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. And Naaman said, shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules, burden of earth? For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other gods, but unto the Lord Yahweh. So this showed Naaman's appreciation. He man, if you won't take no gifts like this, at least take these so you could sacrifice unto the Most High. That's the appreciation he had after that, But it says, in this thing, the Lord Yahweh pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon. When I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, the Lord Yahweh pardon thy servant in this thing.
Right? He hey, look, I gotta do this, because he's a servant at this point, to his Lord, to his king, his master, as he said, his master. So, but he's like, man, pardon me, because I know who the true power is. It's just like us, like when we were kids, we had to say the pledge, or you go to a sporting event, they ask you to stand up and take your hat off for the national anthem. That's that kind of shit, Yeah. So he know who the true power is, and he already know that he's gonna be in the situation, so he's asking for forgiveness, ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. So it says, and he said unto him, go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of the Lord, said, behold, my master had spared Naaman the Syrian, and not receiving at his hands that which he brought. But as the Lord Yahweh liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him.
Being a nigga, mm-hmm. Being a nigga.
So Gehazi followed after Naaman, and when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him, and said, is all well? And he said, all is well. My master had sent me, saying, behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments.
So look at them. Number one, you're lying.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, he chased down a whole chariot
on foot.
On foot. Come on now.
To based off a lie, just so he could get some clothes, some silver.
So he can get a little bit of money and jump fresh for the weekend to, go to a brothel or I'm just playing, but But
yeah.
he was
But
going to the club back then,
But still, it's like
it don't matter, He wanted to this. He was thinking about, hey, and like I said, we can put it to these days. You might want to work some extra hours to get some extra money so that you can get a fresh pair of J's or whatnot. Hey, I ain't gonna jump the gun.
But even so, it's still, no matter what his intentions was, because even maybe he wasn't going to get that money for something that carnal. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe he's just a servant and he just needed some new clothes.
Something. And it's just like you said, maybe you want to pick up some more hours, but don't pick up those hours if you know those hours are going to be on the Sabbath. If you know you're going to be working on the Sabbath and it's not a detriment to you, you already don't have to work. Don't be like, oh, I know it's the Sabbath, but shoot, let me pick up a couple hours. No, you don't need to. You're being greedy.
Or it's going to interfere in camp time.
Or it's going to interfere.
It's going to interfere in camp time. But hey, man, I just need these extra hours, man. I'm trying to. I got to get this new whip, or I got to pay this bill, or whatnot. So you ain't got no faith.
Yeah, exactly. So Gehazi was missing the whole point, but like you said, don't want to jump the gun. But it says, going to verse 23, it says, and Naaman said, "Be content, take 2 talents." And he urged them and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags, and with 2 changes of garments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house, and he let the men go, and they departed.
So he didn't carry them home; the men carried them home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It says, but he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said unto him, "Whence comest thou, Gehazi?"
Where are you coming from?
And he said, "Thy servant went no whither."
I ain't going nowhere. But hold on. But he just came with 2 dudes.
Yeah.
With two garments and whatnot. You can imagine Elisha, he's a man of the Lord, so he already knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. But you can imagine this nigga coming down the road. He didn't went and got that fucking money.
Yeah.
And two? Yeah. He got 2 outfits. He got 2 Gucci fits.
It says, he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee, when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants? The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper as by the snow.
Yeah, man. So he's like, man, is it a time to be coming up on all this stuff like that, man? Apparently, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And when you read in the story, this is right around the time where there was a besieging on Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, against Moab.
Yeah, and there was no victual. There was nothing in the land. It was barren. We was eating pigeon shit. Not necessarily in this chapter, but it's right around that same time.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the next.
It's the next chapter. It's the next chapter. Yeah. So, and knowing that this is the man of the Lord, so he probably has an inkling of this is what's going on. But hey, at the end of the day, in these times, man, it's not a time to worry about, becoming fucking Warren Buffett. We ain't gonna be a Warren Buffett in the kingdom or in this kingdom. Hey, what does the scripture say? Give us this day our daily bread.
Yeah. You'll get so worried about making money, about building something in this kingdom, that this is where your heart would be. When the scriptures say, as a matter of fact, I'll grab it real fast. In Matthew chapter 6.
There you go.
And verse it's like the wrong page. Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. It says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt."
Right, man. Put your weight on something that's spiritual. Put your energy towards more spiritual things.
Because in verse 21 it says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also."
Yeah, because if your heart is focused in the world or on your woman or on whatever that's outside of this, hey, as it was told unto me, there's no protection. You just out there.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, we have to focus on the spiritual.
Con.
And he did not. Can you grab that Proverbs?
Con.
He did not focus on the spiritual aspect that just happened. This man came down, got clean from his leprosy, and it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the changes of raiment. It was about the gold or the silver. It was all about giving the glory to the Most High and letting the Most High's name ring throughout the land. But you just had to get your part. Jake, what does it say? It's not comely for a niggard.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Get that.
This is Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 27. It says, "He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live."
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And yeah, it says, he that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. You know, there's a higher point to what Alicia was doing, to what we're doing today. Focusing on gifts is not the point. And the scriptures say right here, this isn't even talking about preaching the word. This isn't even talking about this situation. It's saying in general, if you greedy upon gifts, then you tripping. In general.
Yeah.
So
you give blinded the eyes of the wise.
Give blinded the eyes of the wise. So, even in this chapter, when you go back to verse 15, then when Naaman says, "Behold, now I know that there is no power in all the earth but in Israel," that's what the point was. You go to the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they had faith. They was about to get thrown in the furnace, but they were saved. They was protected inside that furnace, to the point where the king was like, the king had to give credit to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's what the point of all this is. That's why we show forth faith. That's why we're preaching. That's why we're showing our godliness unto these people in the world, so that they can see us and be like, and they can give praise unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's why when people come up, if somebody offers something, we'll take it sometimes. It's all through the spirit. Yeah. But we don't want all that credit, all that. We're all giving this to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's what the point has always been. And Gehazi, he's leaving out the house, sprinting on foot. Hey, yo, let me get some silver, bro. Like, what are you doing? You're missing the entire point of the whole operation.
He tainted it.
Exactly. You just.
And the dude was so happy. He was like, "Hey,
I'll give you extra."
Yeah,
but
because he was just a good dude, and he was thankful.
Exactly. But he tainted it when this could have been a thing where a good deed was done through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Nothing was given. He went back his way, and that's all it was.
Right. He could have went back to his master, gave him all 10 changes of raiment, all to 10 pieces of silver, and with 400 gold, 200 gold,
600 if I'm not mistaken. It was like
that's a lot of gold.
That's a lot of gold. 6,000.
6,000. Come on now. Brought it all back and was clean.
Yeah.
And that would have been a wonderful story. But no, now he got to come back and like, yeah, they ain't charged me everything. Yeah. They took 2 pieces of silver, two outfits, and they was content. But hey, we got to be prudent. We got to know and understand what the will of the Most High is and stay in that lane. You got anything else you want to mention?
No.
Hey, Lord's will, this was edifying, and we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makar Kadash. Dub honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the 4 corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men, women, and children who follow. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.